As Rich said, I grew up in the Buffalo, New York area. I was born in Sisters Hospital, Buffalo, New York. I can sing you a song called 2 Degrees Buffalo at my gorilla showcases later on tonight if you'd like to learn more about Buffalo than you ever thought you wanted to know. I currently reside in Somerville, Massachusetts. And if you're a songwriter passing through town, I want you to know that we do a little Jack Hardy-inspired songwriter workshop night on Wednesdays there. If you're coming to town, let me know. Shoot me an email. I will make you pasta, and we will get into the process of songwriting together. For a short time in my life, I lived in Austin, Texas, and I would tour out of Austin, Texas. On one particular trip, I had gigs up there in Fayetteville and Eureka Springs, Arkansas. It's a long drive, and if you haven't heard me before, I drive 55 miles per hour on the highway. I got a 2000 Toyota van. It's currently parked out there with 366,000+ miles on it, and I still can get like 28, 30 miles to the gallon driving 55 miles per hour on the highway. Thank you, Jimmy Carter and Japanese engineering. So that was Chutler down the road. I'm in the state of Oklahoma on my way to the gigs there in northwest Arkansas, and I'm driving 55 in the right-hand lane, cruising lane, the slow lane, and I passed a cop in the median. And I don't know if you do this, but when I get out past the cop in the median, I like to look in the rear view mirror to make sure he's still the cop in the median, you know? This particular officer had pulled out and he's chugling down the road too in the left-hand lane, the fast lane, the passing lane. And he's just about to pass me when he slows down, falls in behind me, and turns his lights on. I'm like, he's got me. What the hell did I do? So I pulled over because I wanted to find out. He pulled over too, comes over to my vehicle. I roll down the passenger side window. He says, license and registration. I said, excuse me, officer, but was I doing something unlawful? He said to me, son, why are you driving so slow? And I'm thinking to myself, man, why is he talking so slow? I didn't say that, that'd be bad form, but I said, officer, I was driving 55 miles per hour, perfectly legal and safe speed to be traveling on this highway. He said, I clocked you doing 47, license and registration. So now I'm arguing with the cop. I was going faster than that. He wasn't having any of it. He takes my stuff, goes over to his car, fools around for a couple minutes, gets out of the car, and motions over. I'm like, what is going on? You know, so I go over there by him, and he invites me to sit in the front seat of the car with him. And given the options at this point, I'm thinking this is a pretty good way to go. You know? So there I am at the big people table, and I'm hearing stuff about my driving record come through the radio there, and he starts asking me questions. He wants to know, son, do you have any alcoholic beverages in your vehicle? I said, officer, I don't have any alcoholic beverages in my vehicle. He said, son, do you have any large quantities of narcotics in your vehicle? Now, I don't care if you got a joint in there, there's a bowl under the seat, I don't care about any of that stuff, but do you have any large quantities of illicit materials in your van? I'm like, oh, no, officer, I do not. Then he asked me, said, son, do you have any firearms or small animals in your vehicle? This one I knew was a no. And then he wanted to know if he could search my vehicle, and again, I told him no. That was 4 no's in a row, and he didn't like that at all. So he gets on the radio there, says, we have a refusal, send the canine unit. And I look at him like, the canine unit? And I'm like, I'm trying to get to my gig. He's like, you may as well go by your car and wait. It's going to be 30, 40 minutes. I'm like, 30, 40 minutes? He says, go by the van and wait. It's going to be 30, 40 minutes before the dogs get here. So I go by my van to wait, and 3 more cops show up. So now we got 3 cop cars with 4 police officers, and I've been pulled over, keep in mind, for being a conscientious motorist. The original cop comes over by me and he says, look, if you're in such a hurry, you know, to get to your things up there in Arkansas, why don't you just let me search your vehicle and you can be on your way? I said, I don't want you searching my vehicle. He says, well, then we have to wait for the dogs to get here. I said, well, that's not fair. He says, do you want me searching your vehicle or don't you? I said, I don't want you searching my vehicle. He says, well, then we have to wait for the dogs to get here. I go, that's not fair. He goes, what's not fair about it? I go, you're not giving me a choice. He said, I just gave you a choice. I said, you're not giving me a choice. You're telling me that you're going to search my vehicle, or I got to wait a half an hour, 40 minutes for some dogs to show up and search my vehicle. He says, well, then what do you want to do? And I'm beginning to think to myself, which one is he related to? Do you think Abbott? Okay, so I gotta get to the gigs. I don't have time for this. I'm like, go ahead, search the vehicle. He opens the doors and starts digging around. I'm standing next to one of the other cops. He's digging around, and he comes across a plastic Ziploc bag. And he comes over and he's like, and what's this? And I looked at it. looked at the other cop and said, "Sir, I think it's cookies." But it could be crackers. Holds it to the cop standing next to me, and my friends in Oklahoma love this because they know it's their tax dollars at work. The cop standing next to me says, "Check, cookies." So the guy, he walks around the van, he starts digging around on the driver's side of the vehicle, doesn't find anything, and he comes over to me, he says two things to me. He says, "Greg Klyma, you are free to go." And then he said to me, "Son, you really ought to vacuum out your vehicle." I was driving on I-40, didn't commit no crime. Copper pulled me over just to waste both of our time. This was Roland, Oklahoma, in October of 2005. Said I was driving 47, but I was driving 55. He asked a lot of questions about guns and booze and pot. When he started talking about small animals, I started getting hot. You see, I shot a hamster in Reno. That's right. Just to watch you die. When I think about that critter, help me out now, I hang my head and cry. Clap your hands! He sniffed around my vehicle just like a dog he would. Found a Ziploc bag, he thought he had me good. Man, I don't know what he was thinking. Must have been one of them rookie bums. He thought it was narcotics, but it was only cookie crumbs. So if you're driving out of Texas, heading north to Arkansas, as you pass through Oklahoma, keep your eye out for the law. In Roland, Oklahoma, they'll do it to you too. Son, it don't matter what you're doing, that's just what cops in small towns do. Thank you, NERFA.